12 essential tips you need to know before going to Venice. Hi and welcome. My name is Marianella. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I upload videos every week here on YouTube. First thing you need to know about Venice is that there are no roads, which means that there are no cars. Everything is done on foot or by water. Now, if you're staying on the outskirts of Venice, you could certainly get there through a car, but if you're within the city, then you might need to get a vaporetto or a water taxi. Water taxis are a lot more expensive and vaporettos are relatively cheaper. You buy a card and it lasts the entire day. Tip number 2 is that there are crowds in Venice. So if you want to go somewhere, for example, to the Rialto Bridge, if you want to go to Plaza San Marco, the Basilica, Duchess Palace, you name it, you need to go early in the morning or late in the evening to avoid crowds. Say no to sitting fees. Yes, if you sit down, for example, at St. Mark's Square and you happen to grab a cup of coffee, most likely they're going to charge you a fee. And this happened at the oldest cafe in the world that I went to. It's there. I don't remember the exact name, but it's there. And they do charge you a fee if you sit outside. And the reason why they do that is because they have live music going on 90% of the time. So if you want to enjoy that music, that's extra in your bill. So keep an eye out for that. Number 4 is don't overpay for gondola rides. There is a way to go around it. So basically, if you go to the places where there's like tourists and it's very crowded, that's a no-go because you are going to get charged more than if you go, for example, towards the outskirts. And then if you book a tour, that tour may have gondola rides included and you might be able to take advantage of that and then go into the Basilica like we did. And then we also had lunch and a gondola ride. The lunch wasn't included, but they gave us time for lunch. But it was a very, very good experience. So just look for fees and always remember that the closer you are, for example, to the Basilica, the closer you are to places that are known within Venice, that are like important landmarks, the more expensive the gondola rides are. And gondola rides are offered through the canals or through the ocean. I think you should do both if you're there. Number 5, get lost on purpose. So the first day that we were in Venice, I took comfortable shoes, obviously, because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of walking and I had just gotten off the cruise. So I knew I needed comfortable shoes. We walked from the outskirts of Venice to the St. Mark's Basilica on foot, and I got to see the Burger King that they had there. I got to see the restaurants, the shops. So basically I walked for like an hour, just sightseeing everything and really anchoring into what Venice truly is, because everywhere you go in Venice, there's something historical, there's something of art, there's culture. And if you're from the States, it's completely different than how it is here in America. And it's not a bad thing. I think it's a really good thing, because in America we love to learn and embrace other cultures. So if you're there, don't be afraid, get lost if you don't have any plans, and just walk around and just enjoy Venice because it's beautiful. You could always sit at a cafe, at a restaurant, you can dine, you can eat. Number 6 is to bring a refillable water bottle. So in Venice, they do have water fountains of obviously local water that people refill their water bottles, and the water is fresh, it's delicious, and it's something that you can enjoy, and it can save you money because bottled water is expensive. So you can use those extra dollars on excursions or on food. But it's a small tip, but since you're going to be doing a lot of walking, take advantage of the free water basically. Number 7 is to download offline maps. You might lose signal. So for us, we have T-Mobile and we get, I don't remember how many gigs of data when you're overseas in Europe, but that gives us gigs, and we can use that. And then I think it is unlimited, but then they give you a certain amount of gigs for fast data. But if you don't have that, go to one of the canals and then you see if a Vaporetto goes by, and then there you can see the stops. Just always remember the stop closer to where you're staying, and that's going to be your North Star. Number 8, don't miss out on the sister islands of Venice. So yes, there's Ledos, there is Burano, and there is Murano. So those islands are minutes away from Venice. You can get a water taxi, or you can go on a tour like we did, and they're a lot of fun. So for example, Burano, it's known for its colorful houses. They have restaurants, they have shops. A lot of the shops there have products that you can buy that are handmade in the island, and they have the best ice cream, in my opinion. Murano is known for the glass, but if you go and you're a content creator, just know that you cannot film inside. But if you like glass and you want something that's unique, you would go to that art gallery where they sell everything handmade out of glass. They give you a tour before that where they show you how to make the glass there, and they sell everything. I'm talking about jewelry, anything that you can imagine that can be made into glass, they have it there, but it's really, really, really expensive. Really, really expensive. Number 9 is that Venice has its own food culture. And what do I mean by that? There's local food that you can truly enjoy that, aside from pasta, not a lot of people know about. So yes, obviously the drink, the spritz, you have to try that. I don't like the taste of alcohol, so I didn't get that. But if I ever go back to Venice, I'll be sure to get one for the experience, because I regret. But you can get something called a conchetti, and that is a bread, and they put toppings on it. They put tomatoes, salami. There's a huge variety that you can choose from. The best part is that all of the ingredients are made there in Venice, so it's something that you can enjoy. And then something that we really enjoyed there was fish. So fish is fresh, it's a fresh catch, and it's delicious. Obviously they use their own sauces, everything is homemade, it's really good. So fish and conchettis and the spritz if you go to Venice, and obviously a little cafecito, which is known as an espresso over there. So I think you're gonna really enjoy those. Get ready for high tides. It happens in Venice, and this is number 10. It happens in Venice, and basically, obviously, duh, it starts flooding, but it's a beautiful experience, and it started flooding as we were leaving. There was a night that it flooded and we didn't see it, so it was our fault. But basically the tides come up, and everything in Plaza San Marco or St. Mark's Square begins to flood, and then people go there, obviously, and I just want to point out, it does not smell bad or anything. Venice is an extremely clean city, and just because it has canals doesn't mean it smells bad. I've seen people leave that in the comments. It's a very, very clean city, and they do a great job at maintaining it. And something else that I want to point out is that Venice, yes, it's sinking, but it's like an inch every 100 years, and the reason is because obviously it's made out of wood, but wood, it strengthens when it's underwater with time, the way they explained it to me. I would have to do a video on that, but back to the point, get ready for high tide. So make sure you take shoes that can get wet, or take boots, because it's an experience. If you're gonna be there, experience it, have fun, get your feet wet, enjoy the moment while you're there, because it's unforgettable. Number 11 is to book major attractions in advance. For example, if you want to book a tour to the basilicas, Doge's Palace, do so ahead of time. When it comes to dinner reservations, I recommend for you guys to do so, but I didn't. I went to one of the restaurants there, which was in the St. Regis. We didn't get the best table, and by best table I mean like outside in the terrace, but we got one next to the window, and it had a beautiful view. We were very lucky when it came to tours, and we booked the tours ahead of time while we were still in the States, a month ahead, And we ended up saving a lot of money because one of the tours, it took you to the Duchess Palace, St. Mark's Square, it took you around Venice, it took you to the Rialto Bridge, and everything there, including a gondola ride, was like less than 100 euros or 150 euros per person. I don't remember the exact amount. Number 12 is don't drag luggage that has wheels. Instead, use backpacks. So we outsmart, well, and we also save money by doing this, but we stayed on the outskirts of Venice because we knew of the Vaporetto, and we knew that if we got on the Vaporetto, we were gonna save money. So we stayed on the outskirts of Venice. We also got adventurous and we walked. But what do I mean by that? We had suitcases because we had been on a cruise. So we left the suitcases inside the room, but when we got to the hotel, you could access it by land, but we got there through the Vaporetto, so we had to do a little bit of walking. If you're gonna be staying somewhere where you know you have to walk like a very long distance, or you know you're gonna be walking with a suitcase, just take a backpack instead, because the roads there are very different. It's not really a road, I would say the streets. And everything is done by foot or water, and it's not pavement like here in the States. It's uncomfortable if you have a suitcase that has wheels on it. Use these tips to not have any headaches while you're there. Have fun if you get to go to Venice, if you're planning a trip. This is a beautiful city that I think one of the cities that I recommend for people to visit out of all of the places that I've been to, because there's history, there's culture, you have a great time, and there's a lot that you can do. Do I think you can do Venice in one day? I don't think so. I think you gotta be there for like 3-4 days to really enjoy everything. And then at night, if you guys are there, you can definitely go to St. Mark's Square. You can sit there, pay the extra bucks to sit outside, enjoy the coffee, have fun with your loved ones when you're there. And if there's a high tide, definitely get your feet wet, have fun, be adventurous, because you only have this moment to live and you really want to enjoy your life to the fullest. These are things that when you look back on them, you're going to be grateful that you got to experience them. The day we all leave this world, these are the things we take with us. I hope that you loved this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment on the video, and let me know any thoughts you have, any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions on this video. Thank you so much. I'm welcoming so many of you, so excited, and yeah, I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.